Medicare. One of the better things about Medicare coverage are the protections that its members can enjoy. One of them is the ABN form. What is it? Why should you care? And some tips to help you along. Welcome, I am the Medical Bill Whisperer, a previous billing manager turned patient advocate. I am committed to bringing answers, insights, and solutions to patients like you. So what is Medicare? It is the health insurance for folks 65 years or older, or those under that age with final kidney disease, are disabled, or have Lou Gehrig's disease. There are two kinds of Medicare, and I have videos on both types. Original or straight Medicare, or Medicare Advantage Part C. Part C means that you turn over your Medicare benefits to a private insurance company like United Healthcare or Aetna. The scope of this video is mostly addressed towards original or straight Medicare members. Those under Part C, Medicare Advantage, have the same kind of protections, but they are administered and managed differently. So what is this ABN notice, Advanced Beneficiary Notice? So it is one of the several protections that Medicare straight/original members enjoy. It is the advance notification of a probable non-coverage and non-payment of a service or item that your physician has prescribed or recommends. It is the advance notification that you might be held fully responsible for the cost of that service or item if or when Medicare denies payment. And it is the advance notification of the exact cost you can expect to be charged if or when Medicare denies payment. But it is also an advance request for your approval before moving ahead with that service or item. Why would Medicare deny a service or item? Well, there might be different reasons. Clinically, it could be because the service or item are deemed investigational or experimental, not FDA approved or off-label. They could be deemed unreasonable, unnecessary under the program policies or under medical standards. They could be not indicated for your diagnosis. It could be considered custodial care instead of medical care, and that is not covered. Or it could exceed the number of services allowed per certain amount of time, like 3 months or a year. If you use a supplier, let's say Amazon, to buy your walker, this would not be covered. You need to purchase from a Medicare provider. It could be also that the item, device, or service does not meet care requirements as established under Medicare medical policies, or it could exceed the cap amount. For example, number of days in a hospital or number of services within a certain amount of time. So why is an ABN important to you? Because you must first acknowledge receipt of a notification that Medicare may not cover the cost of that service or item. You must confirm your understanding of the situation. You must accept the potential financial responsibility. And most important, you must give written consent to go ahead. Without your signed ABN, the doctor or hospital may decide not to provide the item or render the service. But if you do sign it, the doctor or hospital must inform Medicare that you have signed the form, and therefore Medicare will issue an explanation of benefit showing that those providers can indeed bill you. Because you are informed ahead of time, you can either prepare financially or explore other options. The goal of the ABN is for you to make the most informed decision. How does that ABN work? Let's look at the form. It has 3 parts. The top part, except for your name and ID number, is a notification and information of what service or item may not be covered. It gives reasons as to why Medicare might not cover it. And it also gives you the dollar amount of the estimated cost you could be responsible for. The middle part asks you to consider other options, ask questions to your physician, and make sure that whatever decision you take is fully informed. And the bottom part gives you 3 options. The first one is you decide that you want the service or item, but you also want to try bill Medicare and see if payment will be issued. If Medicare denies, you will accept financial responsibility. If you pay in advance, but Medicare eventually issues a payment, the provider would issue a refund. Option number 2 says you do want the service or item, but you do not want to bill Medicare. You understand you can be billed for the full amount now and accept that responsibility. But you also understand that because Medicare will not be billed, there are no chances of you getting reimbursed. The last option is that you decline the service or item, and because Medicare would not be billed for a service not rendered, you cannot confirm that Medicare would have paid it or denied it. So to recap, option 1, you agree to pay if Medicare denies. Option 2, you agree to pay and you don't even want to try and bill Medicare. Option number 3, you do not agree to pay and the service will not be rendered and you will not know whether Medicare would have paid or not. So why should you care about this ABN? Let's go into more details. First, who can bill you or give you one of those? Well, a number of professionals, such as regular physicians, but also practitioners, therapists, suppliers of durable medical equipment, hospice agencies, home health agencies, and even labs. But also facilities such as hospitals or skilled nursing facilities. Now, financially, why do those 3 options matter to you? If you picked option 1, you could be billed now or later, but have a chance of seeing a payment by Medicare and therefore a refund to you. If you pick number 2, you can be billed now or later, but have no chance of finding out whether Medicare would have paid or not. And if you choose number 3, well, you cannot find out if Medicare would have paid or not because a service or item were not rendered. So remember, option 1, if Medicare ends up paying, well, you get a refund. Legally, each one of these options also has repercussions. If you pick number 1 to go ahead and get the service but bill Medicare to see they pay, well, in case of a denial, you have the right to appeal. To appeal means to request a review of a decision based on clinical or other documentation, medical records, letters of medical necessity from your physician, and more, explaining why you do meet the criteria for payment and why Medicare should pay that claim. If you decided not to bill Medicare at all, well, you lose that right to appeal. Same with option number 3. If you don't have a service, there's no bill submitted to Medicare, therefore no right to appeal. Clinically, what does it mean? Well, it means that maybe there's a delayed intervention while you make a decision. That will add stress to your situation. You may require a second or even a third opinion. Do some more research in order to make sure that the decision you take is the best for you. One important thing to know is that Medicare does not allow providers to issue an ABN as routine. For example, you may not be given an ABN or asked to pay for services that Medicare pays as an inclusion to a main procedure, or services or items, again, that are needed under duress or while you are in an emergency situation. For any service or item that is indeed payable by Medicare, or for their own coding error denials. Now, here are some tips. If you can, don't rush. Now, of course, only you and your doctor can make the best clinical or medical decision. But an ABN should allow you enough time to identify your options and pick the best one. Do ask questions. Your doctor should be able to answer any in regards to what are those best options for you. Are there alternatives? What does it mean clinically to have or not have that device, service, or item? What would Medicare cover that could be an equivalent? What are the exact financial consequences for you and your family? And if you decide to go ahead, consider option 1 instead of 2. If the provider bills Medicare, you still have a chance of seeing that claim paid. Why? Because Medicare regulations expand, they change. There are regular clinical updates to the medical policies. And you have 5 levels of appeals with Medicare, 5 chances of getting a denial overturned. And of course, if you don't try, you can't win. You can always contact Medicare in a number of ways to get additional information in regards to ABNs in general or one that a facility or a medical provider has presented you with. I so thank you for watching and for your likes, comments, and subscribes that help this little channel grow a bit at a time to reach out to more patients like you. So thank you.